Okay, let's get into your reading, Scorpio. You have been so betrayed by people close to you. And I need to say one thing to you first. You have thought to yourself over and over, how have these people just gotten away with it? How have they done so much, treated you so badly, spoken to you so badly, thrown you under the bus, betrayed you, deceived you, and still gotten to keep living a pretty good life? Drop a comment right now and say justice is served. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Okay, let's go all the way in. You've watched them go here, go there, go everywhere. Plenty of friends, plenty of opportunities, no real lack in their life at all. And you've thought, how is that fair? I'm the one carrying the pain, and they're the one carrying absolutely nothing. And I want to be honest with you before we go into the cards. This reading isn't about wishing anyone harm. This is about something much bigger than either of us. The universe dealing with people according to what they've actually done. And it's about to deal with this. I want to be clear about one more thing. You didn't manifest this through resentment or anger. You simply lived through something unfair. And the universe noticed on its own the way it always eventually does. Okay, first oracle card. Something they have desperately wanted is about to be taken out of their hands last minute. And your guides led with this because the timing matters. In the very near future, within the next 2 weeks, something this person has wanted badly, worked toward for a long time, sometimes years, a real milestone in work, career, or love gets snatched away at the very last minute. Not slowly, suddenly, completely out of their hands. Okay, second oracle card. They will not know whether to laugh or cry. It will feel like a punch to the gut, and your guides want you to feel the weight of this moment for them. Something they've been chasing for a long time, years even. Almost secured, within reach, gone in an instant. A genuine punch to the gut, a stab to the stomach. The specific disorientation of not understanding what just happened. Okay, third oracle card. Their own friendship group starts leaving them out the same way they left you out. And your guides want you to see the mirror here. A gathering, a party, and somehow they're just not invited. Nobody told them. They feel isolated, the exact same way they made you feel. The specific sting of being the one left out of the room. Okay, fourth oracle card. Money and opportunity start quietly drying up around them. And your guides want you to know this isn't just emotional. Financially, socially, in terms of real opportunity, things start to lessen. Less people wanting to be around them, fewer invitations, fewer calls returned. A slow, noticeable quieting of a social world that used to feel endless, less flowing toward them. And the big thing they wanted doesn't work out. Okay, fifth oracle card. They will start asking people around them why their life is suddenly falling apart. And your guides are showing me a real unraveling here. They'll ask family, friends, and they won't be satisfied with vague answers like it's just a phase. This is going to gnaw at them deeply, quietly, in the moments right before sleep when there's nothing left to distract them. Okay, sixth oracle card. They will seek out a spiritual advisor looking for real answers. And your guides show me them turning to the internet, to a psychic, a clairvoyant, someone in this exact field, genuinely searching for why this is happening. Okay, seventh oracle card. The spiritual advisor tells them plainly, you have been causing chaos and it's time to look inward. And your guides are clear that this advisor does not soften it. You have been causing chaos in people's lives, so stop. Look inward. Heal what you haven't healed. Clear the karmic debt you've built up. Okay, 8th oracle card, they will realize they accumulated real karmic debt and that they deserved what came back to them. And your guides want this moment named clearly: a real reckoning, a genuine, private, internal admission. Okay? Finally, I understand why this came back to me. An admission made quietly to themselves, with no one else watching. Okay, 9th oracle card. To shift out of this, they need to become someone who keeps their word. No more saying one thing and doing another. And your guides are showing me the actual lesson landing. No more lying, stealing, cheating, promising and not following through. Real change or none at all. And this time, there's no room left for halfway measures. Okay, 10th oracle card. What they did to you gets done back to them, and they finally understand the weight of it. And your guides confirm the full circle here. What they did onto you is being done onto them. Measure for measure, almost poetically so. And this time, they feel the full weight of it. They finally understand, not intellectually, but in their body, what it actually feels like to be on the receiving end of what they did. Okay, 11th oracle card. Your soul gets exposed to them as pure, while their own soul gets exposed to them as needing real work. And your guides want you to feel this one fully. The divine, the higher power, whatever you call it, shows this person exactly who you actually are. Loving, kind, generous, someone who tried their best toward them. And their own soul gets shown to them too, as someone who genuinely needs to do the work. A reflection they cannot look away from this time. Okay, 12th oracle card. They will realize they need to apologize and come forward with real stability and generosity. And your guides close the oracle section with this: real change, real humility, a real apology. That's the only path back to good karma from here. And there is no shortcut around any of it. Okay, 13th oracle card. You did nothing to deserve how they treated you. This was never about your worth. And your guides want this said plainly before anything else. Nothing about how you were treated was a reflection of your value. You were kind, loyal, genuine. Their behavior was always about them. Okay, 14th oracle card. You don't need to do anything to make this happen. It's already set in motion, and your guides want to release any pressure from you. You don't need to confront them, expose them, or do anything at all. This is already moving entirely on its own. Okay, 15th oracle card. There is a specific person who witnesses their fall and tells you about it, and your guides are showing me someone in your life who ends up witnessing this unraveling firsthand and comes to tell you what they saw. Okay, 16th oracle card. You will feel a genuine sense of relief when this begins to unfold, not vengeance. And your guides want you prepared for what you'll actually feel. Not triumphant glee, not vengeance, relief. The specific, settling relief of someone who was told they were imagining things and finally gets confirmation they weren't. The quiet exhale of finally being believed, not just by yourself, but by the universe itself. Okay, 17th oracle card. Some people around you already suspect something is shifting for them, and your guides are showing me that this isn't entirely invisible yet. People in your shared circles have already started to notice small changes, small cracks, the kind that are easy to miss unless you're paying close attention. Small hints that something isn't quite right with them anymore. The kind of hints people don't usually say out loud, but definitely notice. Okay, 18th Oracle card. This is not the end of the story for them, but it is the end of them getting away with it. And your guides want this understood precisely. This isn't about destroying someone forever. People can genuinely change. But the specific season of getting away with harming people without consequence is ending now, permanently, not just for a passing moment. Okay, 19th Oracle card. You will not need to explain yourself to anyone once this is visible. And your guides want you to know you won't have to defend your character or explain what really happened. The truth becomes visible on its own without you needing to say a single word in your own defense. Okay, 20th Oracle card, why this is unfolding now specifically and not sooner. And your guides want to address the timing. This couldn't have happened sooner, no matter how much you may have wished for it, because the conditions weren't right yet. Their own patterns hadn't fully played out. The structure hadn't fully built itself up high enough to actually fall. Okay, 21st Oracle card. You have already done the hardest part. You survived what they did to you. And your guides want you to acknowledge something before we go further. You already survived the actual betrayal, the hard part, the part that required real strength. You already lived through. Everything from here is simply watching the universe finish what you already endured. And that is a far lighter job than the one you already carried. Okay, 22nd Oracle card. The version of you on the other side of this barely thinks about them at all. And your guides want you to picture this a year from now, genuinely moved on, genuinely at peace. And this person barely crosses your mind, not because you're suppressing anything, but because they simply stopped mattering that much. The way someone you used to think about constantly eventually just becomes a name from an old chapter. Okay, 23rd Oracle card. Your own life is already improving in ways unrelated to what happens to them, and your guides want this understood clearly. Your healing, your growth, your own good things arriving are not dependent on their downfall. Your life is already getting better on its own, completely separate from whatever happens to them, because your healing was never actually dependent on their consequence arriving first. Okay, 24th Oracle card. The specific people in their life who finally stop making excuses for them. And your guides want you to know there are people around them who have been quietly making excuses on their behalf for a long time, explaining away their behavior, softening it for others. And this season is when those people finally stop. Okay, 25th Oracle card. You do not need closure from them to move forward completely. And your guides want this said plainly. You do not need an apology, an explanation, or any kind of closure from them directly to fully move on. The universe providing this vindication is closure enough, fuller closure, honestly, than any apology from them could ever actually provide. Okay, 26th Oracle card. Why you specifically were shown this reading today, and your guides close this section with this. You did not stumble onto this by accident. Something led you here on this exact day because your guides wanted you to stop carrying the weight of wondering if justice was ever coming, a weight that was never actually yours to carry in the first place. The Seven of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the King of Wands, Justice, the Ten of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Tower, the Star. 10 cards. And I want to take real time with every one because together they show the whole arc. The Seven of Swords first, and this is the card of things done in secret, moves made behind your back. This energy confirms what you already sensed. The betrayal was real. The Seven of Swords shows someone sneaking away with what isn't theirs, moving quietly, hoping not to be noticed. And this card confirms that whatever they thought they got away with was seen, recorded, and is about to come due. And the Nine of Cups, and here it's reversed in energy, pointing at the wish they thought was fulfilled, the thing they secured or thought they secured. This is the card of what's about to slip away. The Nine of Cups upright is satisfaction, wishes fulfilled. But here it's showing me the version of that satisfaction that was built on shaky ground, something they thought was secure that never actually was. And the Page of Swords, and this is the news arriving suddenly, sharp, fast, impossible to soften. The moment the milestone gets taken away. This page carries messages quickly, without warning. The kind of news that arrives and changes everything in a single moment. And the Two of Swords, and this is the frozen moment right after, not knowing which way to turn, caught between denial and the truth finally catching up. And the Six of Pentacles, and this is the balance shifting, resources, friendship, opportunity, all of it redirecting away from them now. The Six of Pentacles shows a figure giving from a position of power, deciding who receives and who doesn't. And right now, the scale is tipping away from them specifically. And the Knight of Cups, and this is the spiritual search, riding out, looking for answers, genuinely needing someone to explain what's happening. And the Two of Cups, and this is the meeting with the spiritual advisor, an exchange, a real conversation where the truth finally gets said out loud. This is the meeting of two people, one seeking, one holding the answer. And the exchange happens with real honesty, not softened for comfort. And the Ten of Wands, and this is the exhaustion of carrying what they've built. The weight of everything they've done finally becoming too heavy to keep carrying the old way. The Ten of Wands shows someone bent under a load they built themselves, piece by piece, until it became too much to bear alone. And the King of Wands, and this is who they have to become. Someone forward-thinking, someone who keeps their word, someone who leads with integrity instead of ego, someone whose actions actually match their words for once, and justice. And this closes the spread exactly where it should. The scales balancing, karmic debt finally being collected, and you seen clearly as the one who was right all along. Justice does not appear in a reading to punish. It appears when a record finally gets balanced, when a truth finally gets weighed accurately instead of being distorted any longer. And the Ten of Swords, and this confirms rock bottom for them. Not a small setback. The full weight of everything finally landing at once. And the Five of Pentacles, and this is them outside in the cold, looking in at a warmth they no longer have access to, excluded from the very things they once took for granted. And the Tower, and this is the sudden collapse itself, the structure they built on secrets and deception, coming down all at once, and the Star. And this closes the tarot section on your own healing, not theirs, yours. Every quiet hope you had that this would eventually be made right was correct. And I want to add one more layer here before we move into the tea leaves, because a reading like this can feel abstract, cards, symbols, karmic language, and I want to ground it in something practical. What this actually looks like in real life over the coming weeks is simple. You'll notice small signs first, a mutual friend mentioning something odd, a change in how people talk about them, a subtle shift in energy whenever their name comes up. And I want to say something important here. None of this requires anything from you. You don't have to watch closely, track it, or make sure it's happening the way you might have felt responsible for managing everything in the past. It happens whether you're paying attention or not, because it was never actually about you managing it at all. Okay, tea leaf cards, 9 of them. First tea leaf card. The exact moment it gets taken from them, sudden, undeniable, no warning beforehand, arriving on a day that looked completely ordinary right up until it didn't. Next tea leaf card. Who notices the change in them first? The people closest to them. The ones who always saw more than they let on, who had their own quiet suspicions long before any of this became visible. Next tea leaf card. What they say to the spiritual advisor when they finally ask, "Why is my life falling apart? Why is everything suddenly going wrong?" Asked in the specific tone of someone who genuinely doesn't yet see their own part in it. Next tea leaf card. The specific words the advisor uses that stay with them. You have been causing chaos. Look inward. Words delivered plainly without softening, because softening them would only delay the lesson further. Next tea leaf card. What they finally admit to themselves in private, I deserved what came back to me, a sentence they would never have said out loud to anyone else, only to themselves quietly. Next tea leaf card. What changes about how they treat people going forward? Less ego, more follow through, fewer promises broken, and a new uncomfortable habit of actually thinking about how their choices land on other people. Next tea leaf card. What your guides need from you while all this unfolds? Nothing. Just stay in your peace. Let this play out without you, the same way a storm doesn't need your permission to finally pass through. Next tea leaf card. The version of them a year from now, if they actually change, humbler, quieter, genuinely trying to do better in the specific, unglamorous way that real change actually looks like, with no audience applauding it. Next tea leaf card. What they try first before accepting the truth. Denial first, blaming circumstances, blaming other people, blaming bad luck, anything except themselves before they finally run out of excuses. Next tea leaf card. The specific relationship in their life that suffers most, someone close to them, someone who trusted them completely, finally seeing the pattern clearly and stepping back, not out of cruelty, but out of finally protecting themselves. Next tea leaf card. How long this season of consequence actually lasts? Longer than they expect. Not a quick, easily recovered from stumble. A genuine, sustained season of reckoning. Long enough that the lesson actually has time to sink in. Next tea leaf card. What finally breaks through their denial, losing something they truly cannot replace, not money, not opportunity, but a specific relationship or respect they didn't realize they needed, something that money could never have bought back for them. Next tea leaf card. What you get to release once you see this unfold. The old question of why did they get away with it? Because they didn't. They never actually did, no matter how long it took for you to see the proof of it. Next tea leaf card. What they try to do to fix it publicly and why it doesn't work. And your guides are showing me an attempt to manage appearances a public gesture, a performance of change rather than the real thing, designed to be seen more than to actually mean anything. And it doesn't land the way they hope, because people can feel the difference between something performed and something real, even when they can't quite explain how. Next tea leaf card. The moment real, quiet change actually begins for them. And eventually, after the performance fails, something quieter starts. Genuine reflection away from an audience, the kind of change that actually sticks, the kind no one claps for, but that genuinely matters more than any public gesture ever could. Next tea leaf card. How this affects the way they treat the next person in their life. And your guides want you to know this experience changes something long-term in them. Whoever comes into their life after this gets treated with more caution, more honesty, more awareness of consequence than you ever did, which means your experience, painful as it was, ends up protecting someone else down the line. Next tea leaf card. The specific comment or reaction that tells you this is really happening, and your guides are showing me a specific moment, a comment from someone in your shared circle, an offhand remark, something small that confirms what you already felt was happening, landing almost casually the way the most significant confirmations often do. Next tea leaf card. What surprises you most about how this all unfolds? And your guides want you to know the biggest surprise isn't the fall itself. It's how little you end up feeling about it. You expected this to feel enormous. Instead, it feels almost quiet because you'd already moved past needing it to feel like anything at all, which is its own kind of proof that you'd already healed more than you realized. And the last tea leaf card. You vindicated and finally at peace. And your guides ended here because this is the image they want you holding. You, seen clearly, finally at peace. Not because anyone apologized, but because the truth finally settled into its rightful place. Okay, before the final message, I want to walk you through something practical because your guides were specific about this part. The first thing is this: you don't need to say anything to them, confront them, or point out what's happening. The universe does not need your help with this one. The second thing is protecting your own peace while it unfolds. You may hear about pieces of it through mutual friends, through social media, through small comments here and there. You don't have to seek it out. Let it come to you naturally if it's meant to, and resist the urge to check up on them constantly just to see how far along it's gotten. And the third thing, the one your guides emphasize most, is releasing any need to see them suffer for your own satisfaction. You don't need their downfall to feel whole. You are already whole. This is simply the universe doing what it was always going to do, with or without your attention on it at all. Okay, final message from your guides. Just one. Stay in your peace. Justice is already in motion. Stay in your peace. That's the instruction. One instruction. Just that. Because the Seven of Swords confirmed the betrayal was real and always seen, and the Tower confirmed the collapse of everything built on deception, and the Star confirmed your own healing and every quiet hope you carried, and Justice confirmed the scales are balancing completely. So stay in your peace. You don't have to do anything to make it happen. You never did. Okay. To bring this home, the way this gets exposed leaves them in complete shock. And the cards showed us everything Your guides told us something they desperately wanted gets taken away within 2 weeks. That they won't know whether to laugh or cry. That their own friendship group starts leaving them out. That money and opportunity quietly dry up. That they'll start asking people why their life is falling apart. That they'll seek out a spiritual advisor. That the advisor tells them plainly to look inward. That they'll realize they accumulated real karmic debt. That they need to become someone who keeps their word. That what they did to you gets done back to them. That your soul gets exposed as pure while theirs gets exposed as needing work. That real change is the only path back to good karma. That you did nothing to deserve how they treated you. That you don't need to do anything to make this happen. That someone in your life ends up witnessing their fall. That what you'll feel is relief, not vengeance. That people around you already suspect something is shifting for them. That this is not the end of their story, just the end of getting away with it. That you won't need to explain yourself to anyone once this is visible. And that this is unfolding now specifically because the conditions are finally right. That you already survived the hardest part. That a year from now you'll barely think about them at all. That your own life is already improving, completely separate from what happens to them. That people who made excuses for them will finally stop. And that you do not need closure from them directly to move forward completely. The Seven of Swords confirmed the betrayal was real and always seen. The Nine of Cups showed the shaky ground beneath what's about to slip away. The Page of Swords showed the sudden, sharp news arriving. The Two of Swords showed the frozen, paralyzed moment after. The Six of Pentacles showed the balance of giving and receiving shifting away from them. The Knight of Cups showed the emotional, urgent spiritual search. The Two of Cups showed the honest meeting with the advisor. The Ten of Wands showed the exhaustion of carrying what they built alone. The King of Wands showed who they have to become to actually change. The Ten of Swords confirmed genuine rock bottom, not a small setback. The Five of Pentacles showed them outside the warmth they once took for granted. The Tower showed the sudden collapse of everything built on deception. The Star confirmed your own healing and every quiet hope you carried. And Justice closed the spread on the scales finally, completely balancing. One instruction: stay in your peace. Justice is already in motion. Claim this, loves. Drop a comment and say justice is served. And I stay in my peace. Because every word of that is true. Save this. Share it today and come back and tell me what you saw happen. If this resonated, please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment and tell me what hit hardest. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And one last thing before you go. You did not stumble onto this reading by accident. Something pulled you here on this exact day because you needed to stop carrying the weight of wondering if this would ever be made right. It is being made right. Carry that. Take care of yourself. Bye, loves.